YouTube channel. My name is Bobbi Holmes and I'm the USA Today best-selling author of the paranormal cozy mystery series, Haunting Danielle. I also write under the pen name Anna J. McIntyre. Today I wanted to discuss the 13 author and self-publishing must-have items that I need to get the job done. They may not be things that you need, but perhaps you'll find some of these helpful for you. The first thing I need each day when I start my job, I need coffee. Yeah, that's the first thing. The next item on my must-have list is a really good ink pen. Now I have, two ink pens here. One is a Pilot gel pen and it cost me about $22. This is a Pilot fountain pen. It cost me about $50. Now for people that collect really nice ink pens, they spend a lot more than that and they'll think these are kind of inexpensive. For other people that just buy ink pens off the shelf, they'll think I'm crazy. But I need a pen that writes really smoothly for what I need it to do. Now, they're great, of course, for if you have book signings, if you go have a book sale or you're at a book fair and you want to sign a book for somebody, they're really nice for that. But what I use them for the most is when I am starting my new book and I get a pad of paper and one of my pens that works really well because it has to flow really well. It's kind of a thing with me. And what I do is start writing out what my story is going to be about. I'm not writing as if I'm actually writing the book, but I'm telling somebody what I'm going to be writing about, or maybe I'll start writing about one of the characters and their life and just some backstory information. And what that does is it actually gets the creative juices flowing, basically, to use a well-used cliche. It really does work, though. There has been some scientific studies behind it that when you use cursive handwriting, it does stimulate some part of your brain that helps you be creative. So if you are having writer's block or you're having just a little bit of a problem getting your story going, try it. Get a really good ink pen and a pad of paper and just start writing what you think about your characters or your story, and you may be surprised. Number 3 on my list is Scrivener. Now these items are not in necessarily any particular order of importance or anything, although I think coffee is pretty important, so that's probably why I had it number 1. But number 3 on my list is the program Scrivener, and I do use it now for writing my books. I used to use Word, but I found that the thing that I like about Scrivener is you can keep your research information right there close at hand. You can keep track of your characters. You can write notes in your chapters. One of my favorite things to do is when I'm writing, I can write in the notes what day of the week it is so I don't lose track. Because sometimes it's easy to lose track and suddenly you jump to the wrong day. So they have features like that in Scrivener that I really appreciate. There's probably a lot of things about the program that I'm not using because I need to learn more about it. But so far, what I have used with it, I really do recommend it for other authors. And this is not a paid announcement. So Scrivener is number 3 on my list. Number 4 on my list is actually a font. Now I picked this hack up from Alexa Dunn. She is a traditionally published author who has an AuthorTube channel. She's very well known. And I watched one of her videos and she was talking about how some writers use Comic Sans and they find that it actually helps them write faster and get more words out than other fonts. Well, it sounds really crazy, but I tried it and it worked. And I passed it on to some of my author friends and a number of them found that it really worked for them. Not everybody, there were some authors that didn't work for them, but a significant number of authors found that it was a crazy hack, but it worked. Number 5 has to do with what you listen to when you're writing. Now personally, I can never listen to music when I am writing. I can't have anybody in the room with me. I can't have the TV on. I need to totally focus. So when I shared this with one of my author friends, Angie Fox, after I had shared my Comic Sans hack with her, she told me about a website called Brain.fm, and it's a subscription site where you listen to music, but the kind of music is for like meditation, but some of it is to focus and for creative music. It's not sort of typical music listening to a radio station. And she told me that it worked really well for her. So I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and give it a try. And crazy as it sounds, for somebody like me who really cannot listen to any music when she writes, I found I really liked it. I'm currently giving it a try. I've only signed up for it a few weeks ago, but so far I kind of like it for somebody who has never listened to music while she writes, or never could listen to music because I found it really distracting. I am really enjoying it, so I'm not sure if I'm going to keep the subscription or not. So it's not really a must-have, but at the moment it's something I'm really interested in. It's working for me at the time. The next one on my list is this little gadget, an Echo by Amazon. Now, I know some of you out there are probably going to say, but it's going to listen to you and eavesdrop, and it's like having a spy in your house. And well, usually it's just me in my office, so I'm not overly concerned about that. I bought this so I can listen to music, because when I'm not writing and when I'm doing other things on the computer for work, I do listen to music. It's just when I'm actually working on a book that I can't listen to regular music. So I purchased one of these because then I can listen to my Amazon Prime Music or Pandora, which I have a subscription to. So I figured out another way that I can use this as an author, and I encourage you to give it a try if you have a problem with spelling or you just want any kind of help once in a while. It's sort of like having an assistant. Now, very often, spell check will help us figure out how to spell a word, but some words I, fumble around and I can't get spell check to realize what I'm trying to write, and then I end up having to look it up. So if you have this little gadget, you can say, for instance, one of the most difficult words for me to spell is entrepreneur. So I can say, Alexa, how do you spell entrepreneur?
Entrepreneur is spelled E-N-T-R-E-P-R-E-N-E-U-R.
Isn't that cool? Okay, or for instance, you're working on another project and you're trying to remember a date. Alexa, when did World War I end?
The First World War ended on November 11th, 1918.
And another one, I'll give her one more trial here. Let's say you're looking for another word to use for, I don't know, angry. Alexa, what's another word for angry?
Synonyms for angry, meaning being mad, often extremely mad, include enraged, resentful, or offended.
So, number 6, I believe, on my list is the Echo. Number 7 on my list is another program, and that's Microsoft Word. I've been using Word for years, and just because I'm using Scrivener doesn't mean I abandon Word. I use Word for a lot of other documents that aren't novels, but one reason that I need it for the publishing is because I do take the manuscript out of Scrivener and I put it in Word, and that's what I send off to my editor because she also uses Word. And then when she makes her corrections, then we have the tracking, and then I get it back and I can approve or reject any of the corrections that the editor has made. So for me, Word is an essential item in my toolbox. Number 8 is the program Vellum. I'm a real Vellum fan. Vellum is a program that it will format your ebooks and your paperbacks for you. It's pretty simple to use. The only problem with Vellum, and I mentioned this before, and I don't know if it's changed, and I haven't checked it, so you'll have to check it out. If you don't use an Apple product, you may have a problem with Vellum using it on your regular PC computer. I don't know how that is anymore. I just know that when I first got Vellum, you had to use it on an Apple computer, and that's why I switched to Apple. But I like Vellum a lot. One reason is I used to format all my ebooks and my paperbacks manually myself. It took a lot of time, and I do large prints too. But with Vellum, it is so freaking easy. You just download your file, and you can add headers, and you can make fancy fonts and drop caps. I like that. You can have the drop caps, and there's all kinds of things that you can do with it. It is very easy. So for me, the money spent on it, it was a time saver, a huge time saver. And now that they also do large print, I'm really happy because I don't format any of my books anymore. Now there may be other programs out there, but that just happens to be one that I use, and I have found it very helpful. Number 9 on my list is something that you need for the business side of your publishing business, and that is some sort of a service for a mailing list. Now I'm not going to recommend one or even say which one I have, because quite honestly, I sort of fell into the one that I'm using. I think it may be a little bit more expensive than some other ones. talk to your author friends, but you really do need a mailing list because of all the different social media platforms out there. When you own your own list, then it stays yours. It's not like you're on some social media platform and you get all these followers and all of a sudden they change the rules, or maybe they get mad at you and they kick you off and you've now lost all of your followers and your readers. You have to find them again. But if you have your own mailing list, then that's something that you own, and it's very advisable to have one. So that is a definite must-have, is a mailing service, and so you can put your mailing list somewhere. Number 10 on my list sort of goes along with the newsletters because it's kind of the reason why I use this particular service, and the service is Zazzle. Now, Zazzle is an online store, and what you do is you can upload your images and create marketing items such as coffee cups like this. I've made this at Zazzle. Or puzzles, or keychains, or magnets, or shirts, or hats, tons of items. Now, I created a Zazzle store called Haunting Danielle, where my readers, if they want, they can go there and buy Haunting Danielle items. Now, I didn't really create Zazzle so I could make money from my readers buying items there. I do when they buy items, but that's not really why I created it. I did it because I wanted to give away raffle prizes for my newsletter, like I just mentioned in my newsletter a minute ago. And I thought it would be more fun to have a little bit more unique items. So every week or every 2 weeks, I send out my newsletter every 2 weeks. I have a raffle, and in the raffle I give away something. And it's often something from the Zazzle store, which makes it very easy because then I just order directly from Zazzle and they ship right to the person who is the winner. Zazzle is something that works for me. You might find another service that you like better, but that was number 10, I believe, on my list. Number 11 goes along with the marketing of our books. As many of you know out there, it is very difficult to keep up with all the different social media platforms. We have Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and Snapchat and a bazillion of them out there. So when you decide which social media platforms you want to utilize, sometimes it can be really overwhelming to keep up because you want to regularly post something. So I have signed up for a service called Hootsuite, and I have been very pleased with it. And what I do is I arrange to have a bunch of different memes I create, and I send them out throughout the year, and they're already scheduled and they're taken care of. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't ever do anything currently with social media. I do, because I think that's important. So I still post on all the different social media platforms. But what Hootsuite does for me is when I'm in the middle of the book like I am right now, sometimes I'm so involved with my book that I just really don't have time for social media. So while I'm away writing, I know that Hootsuite is still sending out memes about my books, promoting my books, or maybe something about ghosts, or, something about the holiday, whatever it is. They will be sending that out, so I don't disappear from sight while I am writing a book. So for me, Hootsuite really works really well. I don't know, there's probably some other platforms out there that you can use, but that's the one that I like and I've been using. Now, the number 12 of my must-have items is a cell phone. Now, I was thinking about, I almost didn't add that, but I thought, it's kind of like the computer, because the computer is the item that I didn't list in this list of items today, because that was one I figured we all need a computer, so I wasn't even going to mention that one. But the cell phone sort of comes after the computer, and what I use my cell phone these days, I'm filming right now. My cell phone is looking at me, and I would show you my cell phone, but I'm using it as a camera right now. And the cell phone, obviously, use it for your emails to keep in touch with your beta readers and your editors, and it's just an essential for your business. And so we come to the last item on my list. What is number 13 of essential must-have items for my writing and self-publishing business? Chocolate. Chocolate is very important. We need our chocolate. So while I eat my chocolate, for everybody out there, right on.